Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back to today's Daf Hayomi, SOTAH Chav Zayin. We are on Chav of Amud Beis, all the way on the bottom, the last line. Amar Shmuel. Amar Shmuel, Yisa Adam Duma, Val Yisa Bas Duma. So a person is offered a shidduch. He has a choice, either a Duma or a Bas Duma. What is a Duma? Let's take a look at the Rashi on top here. Nit Enes, Vinit Beres, Bepi Koil, Al Niofel. A lot has been spoken about her deviant conduct. She's been spoken about in a negative light. So, a person has a choice. Should you choose Duma, the woman who's been spoken about herself, or her daughter? Bas Duma, which one is preferred? Says Shmuel, the better of the two evils is Duma, the woman herself, despite the fact that she is rumored to have been interacting with other men. That's better than marrying a daughter born of such a woman. Why? Because the mother, despite her deviant behavior, she herself is okay. Her parents are not at fault, so her source is presumed to be pure. So notwithstanding her own errant behavior, the fact is she herself is okay, or presumed to be okay. As opposed to this woman's daughter. That's real trouble. There's real question in terms of the daughter's kashrus. Maybe her mother interacted with a Ovid Kechavim, says Rashi, or her mamzer. You don't know what's going on. Therefore, the daughter is less preferred than the mother herself. Interesting. The mother is making the trouble, but she's more kosher. She's inherently more kosher than her own daughter. That's Shmuel's opinion. So choice of Duma or Bas Duma, go for Duma. Rabbi Yehuda Amar, he disagrees. He is Adam Bas Duma. A person should prefer marrying the daughter of this woman, Va'al Yisa Duma, rather than the mother herself. Why? Shezu Eimedes Becheskas Kashrus. Because the daughter has a presumption of kashrus. Vizu eino imedes becheskas kashrus, as opposed to the mother who's involved in znus, lost her cheskas kashrus. So Rashi explains. The daughter, okay, there's a chashash, maybe mother was involved with another man, but maybe not. And in fact, Rashi says we have a roiv, which says that roiv bi'ilois achar habal. Typically, the isha interacts with her husband. That's the presumed assumption. Roiv is with her husband, which is okay. So any daughter born from this woman has a roiv to her credit, as opposed to the mother herself, who's involved in znus. Rashi says we don't know. Even one experience with another man makes her usher on her husband. So why marry such a woman? She might be usher on you. Basically, the isser to her husband is more easily achieved and attained by just one interaction with another man. It's easily achieved in contrast to the psul on that daughter. That's not such an easy feat, because roiv is to her daughter's credit. Roiv is saying daughter is kosher, because most likely daughter's mother bore her from her husband. Roiv bi'ilais achar habal. Interesting machlekes. So again, either one is not optimal, but when faced with a choice, marry an isha who's known to have errant behavior, or marry her daughter. Which one is preferred? Shmuel says Duma herself is better because she's coming from a pure source, as opposed to the daughter, which is coming from a questionable source. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. He says, if anything, the daughter is better She has a better track record. She has a roiv to her favor. Her mother's interaction is mostly with her husband, as opposed to the mother's status, which is really in question, because how can you marry a woman who is known to interact with other men? Even one such experience makes her usher on her husband. Eshes ish, which is mezana, is usher on her husband, as we learned in the whole Masechta. So better go for the bas duma than the duma herself. Meisve, we're going to have a kasha. The Brisa says, noise adam duma. A person should marry the duma. That's a kasha on Rabbi Yehuda. Amar Rav V'tispra. How can you suppose that this Brisa is accurate? No, you say, go marry her. L'chatchila, that's the best thing you can do. It's not optimal. Not something we advise or recommend. Why does the Brisa tell you to do it? Ella, rather, you have to revise the Brisa. You have to edit the Brisa. Im nasa. If you married, like, it's a b'di'evid, right? So once you're editing the Brisa, t'ni nam, you can also revise a bit further. Add the word bas. Bas duma. If you need to marry one or the other, bas duma is preferred. In fact, that's the conclusion. The Gemara paskins like Rabbi Yehuda. Yisa adam bas duma, val yisa duma, better go for the daughter than the mother. Atani Rav Tachlif b'marava, Kamed Rav Vo, he presented a Brisa. Isha mezana, an Isha who deviates, boneh oksherin, her own children are kosher. Listen to this. Why? As we said, because roiv be'ilois achar habal. Most likely that child was born from this woman's husband, because most likely roiv be'ilois are attributed to the husband. Bayrav Amram, here comes a shaila. Hoisa putza b'yoser. Mao. Suppose this Isha is really excessively deviant. Do we still have the roiv be'ilois achar habal? Now, aliba de madam, according to the Shita who says, Ein Isha misaberes elo samach levesta, typically an Isha conceives right near a day before she gets her period. Seems like that was an opinion in the Gemara, perhaps the way the way it worked in those days. So, according to that opinion, that ibor takes place near the vest, and that's something that husband doesn't necessarily know about. Taisa says, speaking about an Isha, doesn't have a set period, a set vest. But Tibolach says, no question that in this case, if she's prutza b'yoser, then the roiv flies out the door. The lo yadaba v'lo mintala, because the husband has no clue what's going on. He doesn't know when she's going to become uberes, and he can't really watch over her at that time. He doesn't know when that is. The question will be, according to the other Shita who says, typically an Isha conceives around the time of her Tefillah. Rashi says, on the day of Tefillah or the next day. Maya, what would you say now? Kivan the Yadaba, since he's fully aware about that time period, Naturi Mentala, so you can go ahead and watch her and make sure, at least during that period, she doesn't deviate. In which case, he can safely assume the child is his. Or perhaps, given the Prutza B'Yesis, since she's excessively deviant, he has absolutely no control over her. You never know what's going on. Take it, we'll leave it as a shayla. So bottom line, faced with the choice of marrying a Duma or a Bas Duma, by Machlekes, we pass like Rabbi Yehuda, rather go for the Bas Duma than the Duma herself, based on the halacha of roiv be'ilois achar habal. But in the case of a prutza b'yoser, that's a good question. Ve'elu shebezin. Tanarabon, ish. Pasuk by SOTAH begins, Daber el b'nei Yisrael, v'marta aleim, ish, kiseste ishtoi, u'maloi b'lei maloi. You can only say ish. Matam alemi ish. Why repeat ish? To tell you that sometimes someone could take over for the husband. Bezdin could step in for the husband. L'rabis ishes cherish, a wife of a deaf mute husband, ve'ishes shoita, a deranged husband, ve'ishes shemum, an emotionally disturbed husband who can't really get involved in warning their wives, v'shalach balalim dinasayam, or a woman whose husband is out of town, v'shayachavish be'sasurim, or locked in prison. In all these situations, when we notice deviant behavior, Bezdin steps in to shore it up. Shebezin mekanim lahen, Bezin applies a kinui to the isha. Don't continue this behavior. The point is that if in fact she violates the warning and she goes into seclusion, there was kinui and stira, she becomes asr on husband, she loses the ksuba. But not when it comes to taking her to the next step. Can you give it to drink based on this kinui of Bezin? No. It's a man thing, it's a husband thing. He has to go ahead and take her through the process of drinking. Bezdin cannot do that. They can do kinoi, but no more than that. That's Shitas Tanakama. Rabbi Yossi Omer, no, Aflash Koisa. Bezdin's involvement can even lead to drinking. How? When husband comes back, comes out of jail, etc., then he can go take her to the Beis HaMikdash and give her to drink, based on the kinoi applied by Bezdin. Tanakama disagrees. The kinoi applied by Bezdin can never lead to drinking. But Micah Miflegi, what's the point of the machlekes? What's it based on? This machlekes of whether the kinoi of Bezdin can eventually lead to drinking. Rabbanan Savri, Rabbanan hold, Be'inan v'kinei v'hevi. We have one pasuk which says, v'kinei is ishtoi. And we have the next pasuk, beginning with the words v'hevi. Ha'isha is ishtoi la'koyin, to drink the water. We connect the two things. You want to bring it to drink, you have to be the mikane. So just like husband has to generate the drinking, he has to apply the kinoi, as opposed to a kinoi applied through Bezdin. It can never lead to drinking. Rabbi Yisrael lo be'inan v'kinei behavi. We don't connect the two things. True, behavi isha as ishtei la'koyin, to drink must be by the husband, but it could even be based on a kinoi applied by Bezdin. So all agree that at times Bezdin can apply kinoi. What for? What are you accomplishing? Israel Bala, losing ksuba. What about bringing her to drink? That's a machlekes. Tanu Rabbanan, pasuk says, Ashatiste isha tachas isha. So the pasuk here is connecting the woman, the isha, tachas isha, who is under her husband's watch. Husband and wife are mentioned together in the same breath, and this is an extra pasuk. What's it coming to teach us? To connect the two. Lahakish ish li isha, to connect the ish to the isha, to give him the same halachas of the isha. We're going to see soon what that is. V'isha ish, and likewise the woman to the man. The same requirements that are found by one are required by the other. Well, my halachas is pertaining to what? Amar of Sheshus. So there's no machlekes here. Each Amoira will present, his side of the story, his aspect of the drasha. Keshem she'im pusuma, just as if the man was blind. Lo hayamashko, he can't bring her to drink. Pasuk says she hid from her husband's view. Apparently, he can see. So if he can't see, we don't activate the whole parsha of SOTAH. Kachi, likewise by the woman. She was blind, there's no drinking. Rav Ashi Amar, he takes the other side now, connecting the man to the woman, the same standards applied to the woman applied to the man. Kashem shechigeres, just like a limp woman. Vigidemes, one without hands. There's no drinking. As the pasuk says, Vehemed hakoyin aseish lefnei Hashem, v'nasan al kapel. The kohen stands up, positions her standing before Hashem and puts the mincha on her hands. She needs to be able to stand. She needs to have hands. Otherwise, she can't do it. Kahu. The same applies to the man, to the husband. If he was limp or without hands, there's no drinking. Another aspect. Just like if she was mute, there's no drinking. She has to respond with saying amin, amin. Likewise, the husband. If he was mute, he can't give it to drink. Hadran Allah, Arusa. Continues the Mishnah. Just as we know, the water will have a detrimental effect on the Isha who deviated, she'll blow up. Likewise, it will have the same effect on that suspect, on the Baal who committed the Aveda with the Isha. Although she's drinking, miraculously that effect spreads to him as well. Shenemar, as the pasuk repeats twice, ubo, that the water will reach both individuals. Furthermore, says the Mishnah, Kashem she'asur labal, just as kini v'stira makes a woman usher to her husband pending the drinking process, kach asur laboy, likewise, she is now forbidden to go and marry that suspect as well. Shenemar, the pasuk says, nitma v'nitma. The extra vav teaches us that the Isser applies to the Bayel as well. Divid Rabbi Akiva, that's his opinion. Rabbi Yeshua, Kacha Yadirish, Zechayi ben Akatzav. I have another drasha. Rabbi, the name of Rabbi, Shnei Pa'amim Hamun Reparsha. Because the Torah repeats it twice, Nitma, and again, Vinitma. So rather than the Vav, it's the actual repetition of the word Nitma, which teaches us both halachis. Is a double Isser, one to the Baal, one to the Bayel, Echa the Baal, Echa the Bayel. Now Rashi says, apparently this halacha was learned on that day, Boy Bayayim, that special day described the Gemara Brachos, Achav Chesed Aleph, and on account of this halacha, the Mishnah now will bring a string of halachas which were all related and taught on that very same day. Boy Bayayim, on that day, Darash Rabbi Akiva. So perhaps let's take a look at the Rashi here, off to the left. Boy Bayayim Darash is Rashi. Mesachas Brachos Amrinan. Kol Heichad Detani Boy Bayayim. The Gemara tells us, whenever we have this term Boy Bayayim, which day is it? Hu Yayim Shayishivu as Rabbi Elazar ben Azari l'Nasius. On that day, Rabbi Elazar ben Azari was appointed as a Nasi, as a leader of the community. Shenisrabu Talmidim, and in fact on that day, many Talmidim were granted entry into the Beis HaMedrash, Shenasnu Rishus Likones L'Koil, because on that day everybody was allowed into the Beis HaMedrash, allowed to join the yeshiva, open door policy. This was a total reversal of the previous policy, which was Rav Gamliel's selective approach to admitting Talmidim. Shoyer Rav Gamliel would say, no, you have to be genuine, you have to be qualified. Call Talmid Chacham she'ein toichai kibare, a Talmid Chacham whose character, whose toichai, whose interior doesn't match his exterior, al yikonis beis hakneses should not enter. But then they reversed the policy when Rabbi Elazar took over. That brought a dramatic increase in Torah learning because of the multitudes that joined. Everybody had his halachas to contribute. And there was nothing left obscure. Every halacha was clarified because of the multitudes who were there and contributed to the discussion. Why does the Mishnah go into a whole string of halachas learned on that day? How does that come into our Masechta? Rashi says, it appears to me that the previous drasha of Nitma, Nami Boybem Havoi, that was too related on that day, and therefore Agav, the Mishnah brings the other halachas. So continues the Mishnah. Boy Bayayim, on that very day, Dorosh Rabbi Akiva taught as follows. We have the pasuk describing a sheretz, a dead creature, which is an avhatuma, coming into contact with a earthenware oven. Uklicheres, asher yipoil mehem al toichai. One of those things falls into klicheres. Kol asher b'seicha yitma. Anything within the klicheres, typically we have a loaf of bread in there, it becomes tummy as well, because the lizard is an avhatuma, a source tuma, transmits tuma to the klicheres, which is now a rishain l'tuma, one step down, which transmits tuma to the loaf of bread in there, which is now a shein l'tuma, one step below. Pasuk said it's yitma. Now, although we read it as yitma, but it can be read yitame, eino emer tame, rather than just saying the loaf of bread is tame, which would indicate that it receives tuma. It spells it as yitma, ela yitma, which can be learned yitame. Right? So that would be the drasha, that the loaf of bread can actually transfer tuma to something else as well. The bread is a sheni l'tumah, it can make a shlishi l'tumah. L'tamei acherim. Limeid, this teaches us al kikar sheni, shemetamis hashlishi. At the loaf of bread, which is a sheni l'tumah, because it got its tumah from the oven, which is a rishon, which got its tumah from the lizard, which is an av. That sheni l'tumah loaf of bread can go ahead and transmit to another item to make it a shlishi, shemetamis hashlishi. based on a drasha taught by Rabbi Akiva. Now, it turns out that this halacha, that a sheni can make in shlishi, even by non-kosher material, even by chulin, was a chiddush espoused by Rabbi Yehuda ben Zakkai, based on a kal v'chomer, didn't really have a clear pasuk, a clear source like Rabbi Akiva. And this was said many years earlier, based on a kal v'chomer, not with a clear pasuk to back it up. Amar Rabbi Yeshua, so now that Rabbi Akiva presented a pasuk to support this halacha, Rabbi Yeshua exclaims in excitement, Mi yigala afar meinecha. If only you would come back to life, come back from the earth, Tchias HaMesim, to now witness this presentation in the Beis HaMedrash. Mi yigala afar meinecha Rabbi Yehuda ben Zakkai. I wish you would be here to see what's going on. You used to say, you were concerned when you taught that halacha based on al-Kamachem, you used to say, well, I bet you, in future generations, they're going to just negate the halacha. L'tayr, kikar shlishi. They're going to say, no such thing as a loaf becoming a shlishi. No such thing as a shlishi l'tumah. We unfortunately did not have a clear pasuk to provide a source for this halacha, a clear pasuk of an Torah. So chances are somebody down the road will negate it, will cancel this halacha. But look what's happening. We have a clear support. Rabbi Akiva, Talmid Echad. Rabbi Akiva was your Talmud. Actually, he was a Talmud, of Rabbi Yehuda ben Zakkai. Father Rabbi Akiva Talmidcha, maybe mikra min Torah shu Talmud. He has a pasuk to support the halacha shnemar kol asher b'seicha yitma. Furthermore, on that day, Dorosh Rabbi Akiva umadois and mechutz l'ir, speaking about measuring the outskirts of the cities in Eretz Yisrael given to the Leviim. So how far out would they measure? Umadois and mechutz l'ir, as pas kedma, on the eastern side, alpayim ba'ama, 2,000 amma. Sounds like we give them a 2,000 amma wide strip around their cities, as part of their cities. But we have a contradiction from another pasuk which seems to tell us it's only 1,000 amma strip. Or mikra achar amar mikra ir v'chutza. From the wall of the city, you have only 1,000 amma saviv, 1,000 amma wide strip. You have shalom 1,000 amma, you can't say it's 1,000. Shukar nemer alpayim, we have the other pasuk which speaks about 2,000. Alpayim amma. But you have shalom alpayim amma, you can't say it's 2,000. Shukar nemer 1,000 amma, we have 1,000 in the other pasuk. How does this work? Haketa. 1,000 amma migrash. In fact, they got 1,000 amma wide strip of land surrounding their cities to be a migrash, a lot, a cleared area, a service area, so to speak. Rashi says no fields, no trees. It just adds to the aesthetic, beauty of it around that city. An empty ring of land. So technically, their cities extended another 1,000 amma. That was their territory. Not 2,000, 1 amma. The other pasuk, which refers to 2,000 amma, Valpayim amma, that's just a Tchum Shabbos, to tell you how far out of a city one can walk on Shabbos, 2,000 amma. But their actual territory ended at 1,000 out of the city. That's Tanakama. Rabbi Elazar. Rabbi Elazar says like this. They really got 2,000. So what's this division? 1,000 and 2,000? Different uses, different functions. The 1,000 amma strip, the 1,000 amma, was a migrash, was a cleared area. Valpayim amma, so there's a krumim. The next 1,000, which takes you to the 2,000 amma mark, that was to be filled with fields and orchards, etc. So according to Rabbi Eliezer, they actually got 2,000 out of the city. The first 1,000 was clear, a migrash, for aesthetic beauty, noya ir. And the next 1,000 was for fields and orchards and vineyards. Furthermore, on that very day, Rabbi Akiva tells us a drasha based on the pasuk of Az Yashir. Az Yashir, Moshe b'nei Yisrael, as Hashir Azes Hashem. So Moshe and Klal Yisrael sang to Hashem upon crossing the Yamsuf. V'yomer leimer, and they said leimer. Leimer is an extra pasuk. She'etam leimer leimer. What's the point of saying the word leimer? Typically, Vayadaber Hashem Moshe leimer, says Rashi. The point was that Hashem conveyed that information to Moshe with the intent of Moshe transmitting it further to Klal Yisrael. That's why it always has to say Lamer. They gave him permission to convey it to Klal Yisrael. But over here, what's the point? Malamed, this teaches us the way they sang. Moshe would begin chanting, and Klal Yisrael would sort of form a chorus, would repeat after him. Al kol davar davar, everything he said, they would just repeat. Kikar is halal, like you read halal. Kach lema neimar, that's why it says leimar. It was done in a chanting form. Kikar is shema. V'lo kikar is halal, the way you read shema, not halal. The Gemara will discuss the differences. Furthermore, on that day, Rabbi Yehuda ben Hurkanus. Avad Eiv es HaKadosh Baruch Hu Elami Ava. Eiv was a great tzaddik. He served Hashem with love. He sought to develop a personal relationship to Hashem. Rashi says, Sho'eiv es HaMokim, out of love to Hashem. Shenamar Heinik Teleni. It wasn't just merely because he feared punishment. Because in fact the pasuk says, even if you punish me, I'll still be yours. I'll still look towards you. Shenamar Heinik Teleni, even if he kills me, Lo Yachal, I'll still look to him. So apparently it wasn't just a fear of punishment which drove him. Even if you punish me, you kill me, I'm still yours. You see, but you can still question. It's still sort of in balance. How to understand this pasuk? Heinik Teleni, if he should put me through that, Lo Yachal. Now, it can be learned Lo Yachal, positively, I still will turn to him. I'm still committed to him. Or it can be like a question mark. Lo Yachal, do you think I would still be committed to him? Of course not. Chas v'shalom. So we're not really sure how to read this. And what this really means. V'adayin adav shakol. Lo yani metzapa. Is it positive? I will still turn towards him and be committed to him. Or any metzapa, chas v'shalom, I won't do that. So which way is it? The answer is Talmud Leimer. Look at the other pasuk. Ad egva, until my very last day when I die, lo asur to masi mimenu. I will not turn away from him. I'm committed to him. I'm totally committed to him. This teaches us that his service of Hashem was based on love. So Rabbi Shua claims, like he did before, I wish you were here, Rabbi Yechon, to listen to Rabbi Yehuda ben Hurkanus' drasha in support of your understanding that Eiv served Hashem me'ava. Throughout your entire life, you would promote this concept. You held differently. You held that Eiv served Hashem on a lower level, only based on fear of punishment. So his conduct was based on Yirei Elokim, on Yira. And look now what's going on. Yeshua, the Talmud of Rabbi Akiva, who's considered your Talmud, Limed, he teaches us Shema Ava Asa, that in fact Eiv served Hashem with Ava. And the Mepharshim explained it, and Yaakov explains that if it's in fact Ava, so what does Yirei Elokim mean? Right? Rabbi Yechon ben Zakkai understood Yirei Elokim to mean out of fear of punishment. It's not the highest level. It's not really Ava and developing a relationship with Hashem, a personal relationship with Hashem. So now that Rabbi Yehuda ben Hurkanus darshans that it is mi'ava, how do we learn Yirei Elokim? Says that in Yaakov there's a higher form of Yirei Elokim, a feeling of awe, way beyond the basic, fear of punishment, which is in fact a lower level of avodas Hashem. When a person develops that personal connection to Hashem and he feels Hashem's presence, that generates tremendous awe, like an awe of royalty, or awesomeness in a person's mind, a person's heart, and that in fact is reflective of a very lofty level of being a Yid. Okay, let's recap today's daf. We have a machlekes regarding a choice, marrying a Duma or a Bas Duma. Shmuel says Duma is preferred because she comes from a pure source as opposed to a daughter whose source is questionable. Rabbi Yechon disagrees, just the opposite. Daughter has a cheskes kashrus, because mother's most likely interaction was with her husband, Roy Bilas Achar Abal, which allows us to assume the daughter is kosher. In the case of a prutza, we said that's problematic. Prutza b'yesr. We learned that Bezdin can step in for the husband in terms of doing the kinoi. What about in terms of bringing him to her to drinking? We have machlekes on that. We have a pasuk which tells us that the same requirements that apply to the isha apply to the isha and vice versa. We had a drasha that the mayim is by the isha and the boil as well. We have a drasha that the isha until drinking is usher to the husband and to the boil. And we had a series of drashas and limudim which were taught boy b'yayim on the very day that Rabbi Yehuda took over the Nesius. There was abundance of limud Torah and clarifications. We learned about the fact that Tumah can spread until Shlishi. We learned how the cities of the Levim were configured, how they sang the Shira, and about Iyav's Avas Hashem. Hatzlach Rab to all of us, and maybe all be zeichet to be Oyhavei Hashem. All the best.